Hello, everyone. I'm going to be doing my England squad. This is not a complaint box video. It's international break. I'm going to talk about England. I'm going to do my squad and then chat about some other stuff to do with England. Whatever comes up. I think it's poignant to do it now. I don't think I'll do it again before the World Cup. I'll probably do a video about the squad when it's announced. I think the last international break is a good time to go over the new squad, to pick my own squad, and then we can actually talk about the squad when it comes out before the World Cup, because injuries can happen and a lot of things can happen between now and the end of the season, even though there's no more international breaks, there's only a few games left, all of that stuff. So I've put together a spreadsheet here where we can fill out the squad. I also have some rules that I've outlined. Rules to make it remotely interesting, because when I've done my England squads in my own time before for previous tournaments, I've done stuff like, I only want 2 goalkeepers, or I'm only taking Harry Kane and like some other dude that can play centre forward because Harry Kane's going to play every game. I'm going to make it difficult for myself by saying, we need 3 goalkeepers, we need 2 of each fullback, we need 4 centre backs at least, 2 centre forwards at least, and 2 wingers on each side at the very least. And then you can work around that. You can put different, like if there's extra players, I can decide what I want to do with the extra players. But those are the baseline rules. Because I know that I see a lot of people say that they only take 2 goalkeepers. They don't see the point in 3 goalkeepers. I guess it's just to avoid complete and utter collapses and disasters and stuff like that. But yeah, in the past I've been like, I'll take 2 goalkeepers, but we're going to take 3 because Thomas Tuchel is going to take 3 goalkeepers. He's going to take 3 goalkeepers, so we have to do it ourselves, and we have to choose those 3. So, I've got up the 35-man squad here for this international break. This is missing some names that are going to be included, like Reece James, for example, who's injured right now, amongst others. So we're going to go off this, we're going to go off what we know, and we're going to just get into it. So, I don't know, I've been thinking about whether I go to all of my like non-negotiable ones first for every position, or I just do it position by position. And I think I'm going to do it position by position. So goalkeeper, the obvious thing is Pickford. Pickford has to go in, he has to go in, and he's going in to make him big. I think Dean Henderson is the definite second choice. He's playing enough, he's got the experience, right? He's in good enough form, all of that. So then I go to the third choice, which is, do you want a bit of experience in like Nick Pope or something? Do you want someone young and upcoming that could be the next goalkeeper like a Jason Steele or James Trafford? It's worth noting that Gareth Southgate Euro 2024 took, I think, Tom Heaton as an unregistered player to help with the goalkeeper training, help with the goalkeeper drills, but also be a personality in the dressing room. So I would probably go with Trafford, because I would hope that Tuchel does that thing. If he wants a guy there that's going to be good in around the group, I would just take an unregistered player like Tom Heaton. And I think James Trafford is the most likely to be England's future number 1 once Pickford is retired and stuff like that, because Pickford is getting old. So that's my goalkeepers. Right back. Reece James is the starting right back. We all know he is. I don't think anyone really disagrees with Thomas Tuchel with starting Reece James, except for some maybe Real Madrid / England fans, which is a weird concept to me. But Reece James starts, and I think the thing is with him is that he's the best all-round right. Like, it's him or Trent. It's like, because Trent's upside is slightly higher probably because of what he offers on the ball. But like, Reece James is very close to him on the ball and is a world-class all-round fullback, like, in general, right? He's arguably the most well-rounded fullback in the world. So he's starting. Now, it seems like, based on the 35-man, Trent is not going to go. He's not even in the 35-man. Reece James is injured right now. Like, he's not going to go. He just doesn't seem like Tuchel fancies him for whatever reason. But I'm taking him. The reason I'm taking him is because, and I explained this on TikTok, the upside he provides on the ball is something that England could really do with if they're chasing a goal in a game in this tournament. If they're against a low block, a mid block, a team sitting deep, playing compact, who is the one player you want that will play deep, that will get on the ball, that can make a difference in the final third? Trent. That is the one dude you want, right? Like in world football, let alone like out of England's pool of players. So I'm going, like, I think Trent should play. Now, we'll come back to the extra spots once we've filled out a lot of these positions with their minimums. So there could be another right back in there, because I understand that if Reece James gets injured during the tournament, which is a possibility, like, you might not want Trent starting games because of his defensive lapses. And I think those things are real. Like, I think he's a pretty low-effort defender, and I think he needs to be covered for, and I think that's why England managers and England coaches have not fancied him. So I'm going to stick Trent there, but there's room for another right-back, maybe, if we have the space left, if we want to commit that space to another right-back. Left-back. For me, I'd go with O'Reilly right now because he's playing well and he's also started games for Tuchel, most games for Tuchel, I believe. He's been Tuchel's first choice for the most part throughout the qualification campaign. We'll put him in bold because he's probably going to start. And I don't mind this. I think from like athletically, he's comfortable on the ball. He can drift into midfield. Obviously, he can defend space pretty well, even though he's quite big. Like, yeah, I like it. Like, the athleticism is something that I think is really important in a tournament like this, and O'Reilly brings that. So I'm not mad at it. My second choice left back will be Lewis Hall. The reason is I just think he's the best all-round left back. I think he's the future of the position for England. I think once he gets to a bigger team, gets into better form, I wouldn't be surprised if he displaces O'Reilly. But him and O'Reilly are going to be blow for blow at this position, I think, for a few years now. And I think it's time to move on from Luke Shaw. I know Luke Shaw's been brilliant. Like, I love Luke Shaw, but he's just not at that level anymore, I don't think. And I would keep Hall there. And I doubt, based upon, I think, the fullback that I've not said yet. Like, I think there's an opportunity here to put someone in the squad that can play both flanks that we'll come to based on the numbers that we have by the end, by the time we've gone through every position. So there could be another left back in there. Centre backs. Mark Gahey is the first centre back. He's nailed on to go. Like, he's England's best centre back. Like, I think that this move to the Man City has shown everyone that this guy is of the level he is. And I don't think there's any debate there. I don't really need to say much more. Like, I think he's been brilliant since he's joined City. I think he has an argument to be the third best centre-back in the league after Gabriel Saliba. Yeah. Left centre-back, you'd go with Konsa because of fitness and form for his club and the fact that he has been preferred there. So Konsa's going to go, and I agree. But I wouldn't be opposed to just going with the centre-back partnership we had at the Euros, which was Gahey and Stones. So Stones is another one of my centre-backs. Stones is the best England centre-back in my lifetime. In terms of performances for England, he's been the best. And even though he's in and out of the City team, he might leave City, he's always injured. Like, as long as he's fit for the World Cup and still at a good level, which he is, I would take him. Like, it's just the truth. Like, I don't really have much room for debate on that one. So then the fourth centre-back, because we need 4 centre-backs, at least, obviously, is going to be Harry Maguire. I would have taken him to the Euros. I know he wasn't playing well, but again, like, if you look at someone like, I know he just got a red card yesterday, but Upamecano at France, Upamecano starts nailed on every time for Deschamps, even though you like Konate, Saliba, these types of centre-backs, you could argue were better for their clubs. I think Upamecano is slightly overhated as a player. I think he's very good. But I digress. And when you come to Harry Maguire, I think Harry Maguire is that type of guy that you need in the team, in the squad at least. And I think the level he performs at for England is insane. Like, I've never seen him make a mistake, put a foot wrong for England, like in a tournament. Like, I feel so safe if he's playing for England in a tournament. So I would just have him there instead of like a Dan Burn or who else? Who are the other centre-backs that they've gotten? Quansah, Tomori. Yeah, like, that's who I'm going with. So we have the 4 centre-backs, we have the the four fullbacks, and we have the three goalkeepers. DM. It's pretty obvious that Rice and Anderson are going, and they're probably going to start as the pivot, Rice and Anderson. They complement each other really well. Tuchel loves them, played them together in basically every qualifier. And Anderson is having the season of his life, and Rice is kind of undroppable at this point. So Anderson and Rice are definitely in. As for the other midfielders, you've got Mainu, you've got Wharton, you've got James Garner, and you've got Jordan Henderson. Those are the ones in the 35-man squad. So when I look at those guys, I think Adam Wharton will go because I think you need someone there that's going to get on the ball and be safe with it, that's going to control possession well, keep the game going, control the tempo of the game a little bit, which is, I don't really like saying that all the time, but it's just something that people say. So when I look at that, I think Wharton. And then the fourth is difficult because I think Mainu's on-ball ability is good. I think James Garner's had a great season. I'm one of those people that does kind of value Henderson as a figure in the camp. Maybe not as more of like a footballing option, but I kind of get it, if I'm honest. But I'm going to go with Mainu. Because he was pretty good for England in... I don't think Mainu-Rice works well as a midfield partnership, but I think there's certain scenarios where Mainu could play. So we could also come back to that as with every other position. Attacking midfield, this is the most stacked position that England have. 110%. There's like 5 players that you could all justify taking in this position, and you wouldn't really be surprised. Yeah. I'm actually going to move this up because I might need more space. So Bellingham is nailed on. He's nailed on to go. I don't care what people's like the conspiracy theories people are putting forward. Jude Bellingham's going to go, and I think he'll probably start at attacking midfield. So then you have Palmer, Rodgers, Foden, Eze. Those are the other 4, and you might be able to get away with taking 3 of them, but definitely not all of them. So based on form and England's performances, I think it's very easy to say that Foden should miss out. Because I think Foden is in the worst form of all of them. He's not really playing for Man City, and I don't think he's been amazing for England at all, really. When you look at Palmer hasn't played much for England, really, but the difference he's made in those 2 games, the semi-final and the final of the Euros, of the last tournament, like I think it's undeniable that he's a guy that you need there. Like I think Palmer is very obviously better than the other 3. And then there's Bellingham, which is like, I think Palmer and Bellingham they're not very similar players anyway. So Cole Palmer for me goes, and maybe I'm a bit biased because I'm a Chelsea fan, but like I think he's a level above Eze, Rodgers and Foden as a player. Then you get to, I think Eze and Rodgers, I think what they provide England at a top level is very similar. I think they provide a moment, which I don't like being that guy of like, oh, let's just get a guy on because he'll have one moment in a game, which will change it. I'm like, but I want him to be impactful across 90 minutes. But like Rodgers and Eze are like moments guys, they can bang one in from outside the box, especially Eze. Eze can also play off the left. If you're playing like a Lewis Hall, for example, could overlap him. Same with Morgan Rodgers. Whereas I think Foden, he's shown he can't really play on the left anymore for England. So I would go Rodgers and Eze. Actually, do you know what? Let's just do Rodgers because he's in better form than Eze this season, and then we'll see if we can go back to Eze. But Eze is definitely like the next up in that position. Left wing. Wait, that's right wing. Oh my God, I've got them mixed up. Sorry. Silly me. Right wing, Saka. Saka's going to start. He's going to play there. Like, there's no debate about it. Like, I know some Twitter that hates Arsenal are going to say that he isn't, but he does start. He's going to start right wing. Then it becomes a bit of an interesting thing. Like, it seems like the debate there is between Jared Bowen and Noni Madueke. Jared Bowen is that like reliable quasi-striker, like Salah light type dude that scores goals and like drifts in from the right, whereas Madueke is like the pure winger that takes on his fullback and is very direct. So when you look at those two profiles and I look at what Saka is, I want Madueke. I want Noni. And I'm a big believer in when it comes to England. I know that Jarrod Bowen has been incredibly reliable and great for West Ham and a very good servant to the Premier League over the last 3 years. And a lot of people seem to think that because he's that, he just deserves an England call-up out of merit. But like, we aren't giving out gold stars here for effort in the Premier League. We want the best team to try and win the World Cup. That's what I'm trying to do here. And I think Madueke provides something that he can do on the left and the right that I don't think Saka provides. Whereas I think Bowen, I'm not really seeing what he's offering this team. Whereas I think Madueke's got that edge to him in terms of his directness as a winger and unpredictability and all that stuff with his dribbling. And I'm a Chelsea fan, and when Madueke was here, I did like him, and I wasn't a big fan of moving him on, but it happened anyway. Left wing, I think it's nailed on that Rashford goes. He's playing for Barcelona. He's got a load of output. Like, he's a rotational option for them. I think it's nailed on. He's going now. Is he in the 35-man squad? Yeah, I don't know if he's with the group already, isn't he? Tuchel, I think, is trying to play the left wings up for grabs, but I'm like, there's guys there that are going to have to do a lot to unless he's going to play like Rodgers on the left. I'm like, it's probably going to be Rashford. Like, Gordon's not had a good enough season, not playing well enough in my opinion. And in terms of like other options, like I look at Rashford and like Harvey Barnes, like I look at Rashford and Gordon, and I think they're going to be it. But then also I think Rodgers will be considered as a left wing option, and maybe Eze as well if he goes. So that's what I would do. Centre forward, let's just put Harry Kane in now. He's going to go. I'm like the type of dude, whenever I've done like my squads for fun in recent tournaments, that I'm like, oh, like Rashford can play striker, so just like save the, like, yeah. But I've said 2 actual centre forwards. So it's going to be Solanke, Calvert-Lewin or Watkins. Watkins isn't in the 35-man squad, so it makes you think that Tuchel doesn't really like him, which is a bit weird because he scored the winner in the semi-final in the Euros. It's like he's done it for England, you know, and I'm looking at Solanke, Calvert-Lewin. I'm like, I get the Calvert-Lewin thing because like he's a real presence in the air, and like in tournaments like this, like you need like sort of quite unglamorous profiles like that to get you somewhere. Like I look at like Wout Weghorst for the Netherlands and stuff. So I do actually kind of get it. And as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about whether I should take Calvert-Lewin instead of Solanke. Is there any other strikers in there? No, there isn't. Okay. I'm going to take Calvert-Lewin. With this thing, I'm not like, I'm struggling to like go between like what's realistic and what isn't. You know, like, because I put Trent in and I'm like, Trent isn't going to go, is he? Like, he's not in the 35-man squad, so he just isn't going to go. So yeah, that's the team. So how many players have we got here? So that's 11, 24. We've only got 2 spots left in this squad. Only got 2 spots left in this squad. What are we doing? We've only got 2 spots left in this squad. Do we need another centre-back? Do we need another full-back? As I said earlier, do we need another guy in attack, a different profile in attack? Do we need another midfielder? I think we have enough in attack. I think we have enough differing profiles. I think we have the moments dude with physicality in Rodgers. I think we have the sort of the magic sort of output guy, like the guy that will split a game open in Palmer. We've got the engine, the all-rounder, another maverick in himself in Jude Bellingham. I think we've got Rashford, which is that direct left winger role. Rodgers can go out there as more of a sort of inside forward role. We've got Saka. We've got his backup. We've got Kane. I don't really see the point in taking another centre forward. So centre forward is ruled out. Goalkeeper ruled out, obviously. I think attacking midfield, I'm going to stick with these 3. I'm not going to take Eze or Foden. So, because then I'm like, do I take Tino? Because I'm thinking Tino Livramento is like another fullback. Because like, again, if James gets injured, I think if Tuchel takes James, Trent and Livramento and James gets injured, I think Livramento would start at right back, not Trent. So that's what I'm saying. But do we just remove Trent? Do we just remove Trent and put in Livramento and just not have 5 fullbacks, or do we just go with this? Because we could just go with this and just assume that Reece, like, again, like if Reece James was like Iron Man and wasn't getting injured, then I wouldn't be considering taking another fullback because I wouldn't be assuming he's going to get injured. But again, it's like if Tuchel plays him as a full-on right back that's bombing up and down, then he could get an injury during the tournament. It's my squad. I'm not going to take another fullback. I thought I would have more space left over when I filled out all the positions. So I'm thinking maybe another midfielder, and I'm thinking maybe another centre-back. I'm going to go with who's in the squad. So it's James Garner or Jordan Henderson, really. Are we taking James Garner or Jordan Henderson? I'm going to take James Garner. Fuck it. Like Henderson's just a bit of a boring pick. I think James Garner will be good. Yeah. So then do you want another centre-back? Is 4 enough? I think 4's enough. I think I want to get up the Euro 2024 squad to just see how many centre-backs we took. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, it has to be 4 because Southgate took 3 fullbacks to Euro 2024 and 5 centre-backs. So this is fine. So I think we could probably take an Eze, couldn't we? We could probably take an Eze or a Foden or a Harvey Barnes or a Bowen. We could take Bowen. I'm going to take Eze. I'm taking Eze. That's the squad. That's the 26-man squad. Okay, I've also highlighted my starting 11. Actually, I'm putting Stones in the starting 11. This is my starting 11 for the first game. I want to go into some comparisons that people are making and some debates that people are having within the squad and within the starting 11, mainly at attacking mid. So for me, the battle for the attacking midfield position is Bellingham and Palmer. I think the good thing about it for Tuchel is that it's very clear what each of them offer. They aren't exactly the same as players. And that's why, even as a Chelsea fan, where I'm like, Palmer should be on the pitch as much as possible. I understand why Jude Bellingham should be playing, and I do kind of agree. Like, especially against bigger teams, like, if you want to sit in a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2, like Jude Bellingham is going to be better off the ball, and you can see that in the stats, right? Like Palmer's way better from a final third attacking perspective. Like even this season, where he's not having a great season at all. But then when you look at defending and duels and stuff like that, Bellingham is a lot better. Like Bellingham's more of a number 8 than Palmer is a number 8. Like Palmer's more of a 10 and Bellingham's more of an 8. Like we know what they offer, so that's why I understand Bellingham playing, because he'll give you that out of possession stuff that you need. He'll run around and go into duels and tackle and do everything, and I get it. So when a lot of people have been talking about Morgan Rogers, and I mean, anyone who follows me on TikTok or Twitter knows I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not. The reason I'm not his biggest fan is because I don't think he's that good. The thing with Morgan Rogers is, like, a lot of people I think look at his output, but they don't look at his per 90 stuff. The guy plays so much. Like, he plays more than any other attacking midfielder that England have, right? So his volume stats, like the amount of goals and assists he gets, look pretty good. But when you put it down to per 90, he's like meh. Like when I look at the goals and assists per 90, he's like on the same level as, like, as a Chelsea fan, he's on the same level as like Neto and Garnacho. Like in terms of how frequently he's providing goals and assists for Villa, and he's like that team just runs through him from an attacking perspective. So, like, I get that he has moments, but like I can't rely on him to like impact a game at a really high level for a considerable period of time in the way that Bellingham and Palmer do. I just think Bellingham and Palmer are just 10 times better players than him. And there are times where I feel like maybe I'm being a bit strong on Morgan Rogers, but like for me, it's like I look at this thing of like, apparently, like Villa will move him on for like 80 million, and I'm like, I'm not doing that, like at all. Like I'm barely doing that for half that. So then when it gets to England, I'm like, I don't. If I'm seeing Morgan Rogers in the starting 11 for England and Bellingham and Palmer are on the bench, like I'm losing all hope. Like, this sounds dramatic, but like I think this position is incredibly stacked for England. I think Bellingham and Palmer are two of the best players in the world, and I don't think Rodgers is. And I'm like, if you've got those players on the bench, this isn't a France situation. This isn't like, I think France, like one of Cherki, Elise, Dembele, Ekitike, Barkler and Doué, like 2 or 3 of them are going to have to hold the bench. But like that, if you're France, if you're Deschamps, that's fine, because it's just like you can't fit all of them on the pitch. But with England, it's like, I think England match France in terms of top level starting players. I think Harry Kane's arguably the best player in the world. Jude Bellingham is arguably the best player in his position. Palmer the same. Saka is up there as well. Like, these players from starting 11 perspective are pretty good, are very good. But when you look at the depth that France have, it's like they're going to leave players out. With England, I'm looking at it and I'm going, it would be a crime if Morgan Rogers is starting over these two. It just would. I just don't think he's as good as them. So, yeah, that's my thing. And then Eze, I get like Eze. I think probably Eze is better than Rodgers, but I get that Rodgers is in good form for England and the physicality that he provides, I think Tuchel probably likes. But in terms of like receiving the ball on the half turn, being in tight spaces, like being a chief creator for a team in a position where you kind of need to be that, and a chief goal threat, I don't think he's anywhere near the level of Bellingham and Palmer. And then Bellingham comes with all of these other things from an out of possession perspective, in terms of he's able to sit deep. If England are chasing a goal, right, and he's been playing attacking mid in front of Anderson and Rice, you can bring Palmer on for Anderson, and Bellingham can sit deeper when you're chasing that game. Yeah, had some technical difficulties, but I'm back after a while. But I'll move on from the Rodgers, Palmer, Bellingham thing. I think I said enough about it. I said my piece. I think Palmer or Bellingham should start. I think probably Bellingham for a little bit more balanced and out of possession stuff. If Palmer is there starting in the number 10 come the first game, I'm not going to complain about it. But now we move to, in general, the thing I've liked about Tuchel so far is that, firstly, he's just outright a better coach than Southgate. But that's not a surprise. Like, we weren't surprised about that. We knew that Southgate, in terms of the culture that he implemented at England, that's why he was successful. It wasn't because he was a tactical nous. Tuchel's probably the best coach in the competition. It's him or Nagelsmann, really, probably. Like, Tuchel and Nagelsmann are too good to be at international football, if we're being honest. Like, they should be managing a club team. And I think England have a better squad than Germany. So there's that. And it very much seems like outside of maybe Spain, who still have had a little bit of upheaval from the Euros, I think Laporte probably is probably Huijsen and Lenormand, or whatever his name is, playing centre-back for them. What I'm trying to say is, I think that England are at a point now where Tuchel knows what he's going to do. And I think that is like a really big thing. Because in this interview here with ITV where he was asked about Trent, the whole thing about Madrid, nothing else, a lot of people in the replies saying that wasn't even about England. So I'm not going to touch on that. But he said that he has he's prepared a game model, and they prepared that game model without Trent available or in the squad or anything like that. And he feels like for the game model, what he wants his right back to do, Trent isn't that. I disagree. Like, I don't know. Like, I watched the qualifiers. Like, Reece James started like every qualifier at right back for England. If you look at where he played, it's like, this is where you want Trent. And I know that like football isn't as simple as this, but like, I just think that's the truth. I don't think the model is entirely dependent on him, but again, like he talks about like overlaps and stuff. Trent isn't really an overlapper. like Reece is more of an overlapper, but again, like he hasn't been doing it much because his hamstring blows up every time he does it. So going into this competition, I feel a lot more safe tactically than I did under Southgate, which is like to be expected. Like that's not an insane thing to say, if we're being honest. Is this? I'll probably do that. That's not an insane thing to say, is it really? But for me, when you compare us to like France, Brazil, Spain, not so much, Germany, I look at those teams and I go, Portugal, I look at those teams, I'm like, do they know what they want to do? I feel like England know what they want to do. They're going to play a 4-2-3-1. The fullbacks are going to be normal fullbacks. Rice and Anderson are going to be in midfield. Like Gahey's going to be at centre-back. Reece James is going to be at right-back. Pickford's going to, like, we kind of know what England are going to do, which is like a thing of like, they seem prepared. And it's not like, Tuchel is also one of those dudes that he very clearly isn't scared to make unpopular decisions, which I think Southgate was scared to make unpopular decisions. Like, he continuously, throughout Euro 2024, just played Foden on the left wing. And he just, like, he wasn't good. And, like, it was like, just play, like, an actual left winger there. Like, I know Foden's great, but, like, it's clearly not working. Like, the balance of it. So, with Tuchel, it's very clear he understands the balance of the team very well. We all know that. We all know he's a great coach. And I think that's the bonus that England have. When I look at the odds, Spain are first, England are second. Now, this is UK odds checker. It's important to understand that England are one of the top 3-4 favourites for the competition. They're going to have slightly skewed odds in their favour because a lot of people are going to be, out of romance, betting on England to win the World Cup. And there is a genuine chance they can win it, so the bookies don't want to be giving away too much money if they do. Like, that's the thing. Like, that could be a thing. So, like, again, England being over France is probably, like, a thing. Like, that's probably to do with the fact that these are English bookies, basically. This is British bookies. But I think it's very clear that Spain, England and France are the three favourites. Brazil seem a bit too dysfunctional. They're lacking a lot of quality in certain areas. Argentina seem a bit old. Like, they're the reigning champions, but again, like, Messi's not going to be the same player. There's a lot of players. Di Maria's not there. Like, yeah. Portugal, again, like, for me, Portugal's great, but, like, Roberto Martinez is not a good coach. I don't rate Roberto Martinez as a coach. And I think Ronaldo is going to play up front, and I think he's, at this point, you're playing him because he'll kick up a fuss if he doesn't play. Like, I think Portugal could be way more balanced if Ronaldo isn't up front. Germany, again, Germany, Netherlands, I just don't think their squads are good enough. Like, Germany, especially defensively, I look at that team and I'm like, Rudiger's washed, Tar is fine, they don't really have a left back. So I look at England, but it's been the same in every tournament with England. I think England can win. I thought England could win the last 3 or 4 tournaments they've been to. The last 2 Euros and the last World Cup, I thought England were equipped to win those tournaments. But you've got to beat a Spain or a France to win the tournament. You have to. And those are the two teams where if England face them, you go, I don't know if we can beat them. Yeah. But I think, Spain deserve to win the Euros final. But I think if we had Tuchel then, I think that's a different game. France, again, since the 2022 World Cup, they've been like, they have a lot of new players in that picture, don't they? It was Dembele, Giroud, Griezmann, and Mbappe was their front four at the World Cup. Then at the Euros, it was kind of, I think Elise was in there and Griezmann was still there, and they weren't as good. And then they got knocked out by Spain. And now it's like Elise, Dembele, Doué, Barcola, Cherki, like all of these guys have come in, and it feels a bit like, they're still trying to find the balance. Deschamps is. So when I look at England, I look at Tuchel, and I just think that they're prepared. That they know what they want to do. Like, and I don't agree with not taking Trent. I think you take Trent because of his upside. But like, the positive to take from it is that like Tuchel knows what he wants and he's not afraid to make unpopular decisions and to leave certain players out. Whereas Southgate was clearly very scared to do that. But again, it's like if it doesn't work, then it bites you. Like if England are 1-0 down to France or Spain in the final or the semi-finals and they lose, then I will, with the benefit of hindsight, sit back and say what I said before the tournament and go, like, if Trent was on the pitch, you might have created some more and you might have got that goal because he's the guy you want in those situations. But Tuchel isn't going to, like, that's what a manager has to learn to eat their decisions, you know. And he's not afraid to make big decisions, whereas I think Southgate was. And that's important. And that's a good thing to a certain extent because he's earned the right to do that because he's one of the best coaches in the world. So overall, I'm like pretty confident. I think this will be very close to what the squad is. I imagine there'll be some wild cards in there, like a Bowen or a Watkins or a Solanke or something, and they'll be in a mission. I wouldn't be surprised if like Mainu or Wharton don't go or something like that. Like there'll be something there. But I think this will largely be it. And I think, as I said, I think we know what most, like half the starting 11 will be. It will be Pickford, Gahey, James, Rice, Addison, Bellingham, Saka, Kane. Like that's what it will be. Like we're missing like 3 players in that. I think you could fairly confidently say it's O'Reilly. I think you could fairly confidently say it's Rashford on the left. I think you could fairly confidently say it's Consta or Stones at right centre back. Like nothing is hugely up in the air. Like I don't think we're going to start the first game, see the starting 11 and be like, what the fuck? We're all going to kind of expect it to look the way it will look. And that's important, that England seem prepared. They seem prepared. And I think the whole 35-man squad thing that Tuchel is doing in this break is good. It keeps players fit. Like, you know, there's that age-old thing of like, you know, players wanted on international duty, but their clubs want them to stay fit. And like, he's managing that well. And like, one of the more important things, one of the things that goes unnoticed as an England manager is you need to manage the relationships with the clubs that your players play for. So doing this, where he's saying, look, these guys are only going to be involved in one game. Like they might not even play 30 minutes. And that's what you want because, you know, you've got important games towards the end of the season. The City players, the Arsenal players, the Real Madrid players, you know, the Villa players. These teams are fighting for huge trophies this season for their clubs, and their clubs want them fit. So Tuchel managing that relationship is really good because it keeps it going. And like, you know, I don't know what happened between, for example, Ben White and Steve Holland and why Ben White left that World Cup squad in 2022. I don't know what happened, but the fact that Ben White's back says a lot, I think, for the coaching staff. It seems very isolated, like nobody else seemed to have a problem with Steve Holland, and Ben White's like, he's a bit of an enigma of a character within football, isn't he? So you don't really know like how that's happened. But then I look at the happiness in the camp. Like, I know Tuchel, like the players will love him. The most of the fans will love him. There'll be some fans that don't like him purely because he didn't take Trent and that he's German and all of that stuff. But like, he's a very likable coach. I've got friends that are rival fans that loved him when he was at Chelsea. They were like, oh, he's like great, like a really nice guy, like. And that's important as well, even though he's not English. I don't really care, because I'm at the point now where, like, England have a generation of players that can win a World Cup, I think. So just give them the best coach. I don't, like, again, like, you know, I'd rather the FA sort of admit that they can't make good coaches and just give them one of the best coaches in the world, regardless of whether they're English or not, than just try and make it work with an English coach. Because, again, I don't know. I think we're on the precipice of there being some good English coaches coming, but I think for now, like now you've got this elite team, like just try and win, and that's what Tuchel's going to do. So that's my squad. That's my thoughts on some of it. I'm sure I'll do videos about it during the World Cup. I don't know whether I'll do another one this international break after the games, because I never ever come away from England friendly games and have anything to say. I just don't. So, yeah. But Chelsea videos will be back soon. I just don't have enough to say. There is some stuff bubbling up over international break that could formulate a long video, but not right now. So, yeah. But please subscribe, because it shows that you're enjoying it and it means I'll make more of these. and catch you in the next one.